How founders can give sales and marketing the respect it deserves. Hi, Patrick from Founder Revenue Academy. This episode is part of our operations series and is episode number 3. So let's get started. I don't think for a moment that there are people watching this video who think that sales and marketing aren't important for a business to run. I think that would be madness. However, there could be a few people who believe it to be a bit beneath them, or it could be someone else's job. It may be being a bit of a dirty career and other such things. Coming from a background of sales, I've heard all of this kind of thing, from founders getting frustrated that sales aren't coming quickly enough, to claiming that a sales team isn't required because the product will sell itself. Interestingly, sales are doing too much, so they've then got a fulfillment problem and product and tech can't keep up, or sales are selling something that doesn't exist. All of these aspects will come up time and time again in every single startup. Unfortunately, there are some products that have sold themselves. So the idea when founders say, well, we've built this really super cool product and it's just going to sell itself and people will find it and they'll think it's amazing. The likelihood of that happening is pretty low. But as I said, there are some products that have sold themselves, but this is because of a very powerful marketing machine behind them, or having utilized other tactics to gain market share, like word of mouth and referrals, or a partnership with a specific, much larger business that they could tap into the distribution channels for. But these are the exceptions that prove the rule. Sales and marketing are the departments that keep the lights on, as the saying goes. So if you're watching this video, chances are you'll be a founder of a very early stage business, and so you will be the sales department. While this might be an uncomfortable home truth, the learnings you will get eclipse the awkwardness you may initially feel. So documenting everything in terms of what you say, the questions that you ask, the objections that you get, this all needs to be written down and documented, because this will be part of your playbook and will demonstrate how much goes into making a sale. Similarly, with marketing, I wanted to introduce you to a concept that demonstrates how much goes into this particular discipline, which is brilliantly outlined with the bullseye framework, which I shall link below. I'd like you to imagine a dartboard, and in the outer ring, you're going to write down all of the 19 channels you could possibly gain traction with. If you were to Google 19 marketing channels, you will come up with it, but it looks at everything. So I won't go into specifically what they are for this video. The outer ring represents what is possible. The middle ring represents what is probable, and the inner ring as what's working. How you implement this is you work your way inwards, continuing with channels that are working and getting rid of those that are not, which should result in a clear picture of the channels that work for your business. This will be business specific, so you'll figure out what works through a series of cheap and quick tests to validate your thoughts, and it's a fantastic way to cover all bases, but also to figure out what channel gets your product the most traction. The reason I bring this up is because as soon as you start thinking like this as a founder, you realize how much actually goes into sales and marketing. There are so many different channels, 19 as I said, and strategies, tactics, metrics that you can measure your success with. And the list really goes on. At the end of the day, you are dealing with people, and people are fickle. You're not dealing with machines. And so one tactic you think will work doesn't, and one that you think is hopeless goes gangbusters. And so it's constantly tweaking, refining, and getting back up to try again. It's a tough slog, this sales and marketing game, but given you're in the Founders Revenue Academy, you're already in the top 1% of founders. So that wraps up today's video. Remember, we create these videos a lot to help our founders and run these mini-series on all the key pillars of scaling B2B tech startups. So if you haven't seen the other videos in this operations series or the other series at all, please check them out. And also don't forget to join our community, which is the link below, where you'll see all this content and get to interact with many like-minded founders. I'll see you in there.